Okay. Technical difficulties today. So thank you everyone for joining today. I will keep this quick, but I just wanted to share with you my current webinar called Keep It All, the Smarter Brokerage Model for 2026. So just a quick introduction to Kelly French Real Estate. I've had my license since 2015, and about 2020 to 2021, um, I started thinking to myself, I'm experienced, I am a top agent in my market center, and I was starting to get pulled a lot because I was a top producer into doing different training classes, attending different training classes. And I very quickly realized that I could probably spend over 40 hours a week doing real estate type activities, but not actually selling any real estate. And so for many years, people had asked, why don't you just go out and start your own brokerage? And I was always like, no, that's not for me. And then about that time, I was like, you know what? Maybe this might be a great idea. And so with that, kind of the idea for Kelly French Real Estate was born. And I want to be able to bring this model to other similar agents that may be in a similar situation as I was. And so the mission statement for Kelly French Real Estate, which I'm going to read, is that we are dedicated to being the premier 100% brokerage in Central Florida, championing a network of top producing real estate agents. Our mission is to foster a collaborative and empowering environment that highlights exceptional talent and leadership in real estate while delivering outstanding service and results for our clients. Kelly French Real Estate was born in April of 2022. And during that first year, I was just kind of getting my feet wet. I had a small team, and I didn't really have a vision for what I wanted the brokerage to look like, other than I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. I knew what I needed to do to be successful and to live out my legacy, and I knew where I could get answers to questions if I needed it. And then fast forward to end of 2023, beginning of 2024. I decided I was ready to start adding agents to the brokerage and was really deciding what that looked like. And as I thought about it, I didn't want to just be a standard boutique brokerage. I really wanted to reach out to those agents that may have similar pain points that I did when I decided to go out on my own. So that's kind of how I came up with the brokerage model that I'm going to share with you guys today. So I would like to introduce you to Ria. She is one of my executive assistants. She's going to be monitoring the chat. So at any time, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm going to check in with her a couple times, and then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A as well. So, just a little bit about me for those of you that don't know me. My name is Kelly French. I have been married to my high school sweetheart since 1999. I am a mom of three. My oldest is Addison, who will be turning 14 shortly. My middle son, Grayson, is 12, and my youngest son, AJ, just turned 9. We are disability advocates. My middle son, Grayson, he had a birth diagnosis of Down syndrome, and we adopted our youngest, AJ, in 2020, who has a diagnosis of autism, ADHD, and apraxia. And so, with that, in 2021, the French Family Foundation was born, which is a local nonprofit. And we use that as a vehicle to assist families who have children with disabilities of providing support and assistance that they need. I was honored to be named in the top 100 for Orlando Real Producers last year in all of Central Florida. I am a real estate investor, and I'm also a certified coach. So let's go ahead and dive in. So my goal for Kelly French Real Estate is to empower my agents with what we call elite success. So our goal is to become the premier 100% commission brokerage for all of Central Florida's top agents. So we want you to keep 100% of your hard-earned commission. We want you to have unmatched autonomy within yourself. So we're not going to tell you how to do your branding. We're not going to tell you how you need to work on a daily basis, but we're going to be there to provide the support for you at the times when you do need it. And so what we have come up with is what we call the elite circle. So we want this to be a place where agents connect and collaborate with some of the top agents in Central Florida, using a growth-oriented network. And so the marketing campaign that we came up when we started offering this to agents is called Be 100%. So we want you to be 100% empowered to run your business how you like. We want you to be 100% rewarded by keeping 100% of your commission. And we want you to be 100% you. So, we say that your hard work deserves its full reward. So there's no ceilings, there's no compromises, and you keep 100% of what you earn, and you can reinvest that into your future and focus on your legacy. So you have freedom to control your business. We don't have rules that you have to follow. You get to use your own brand, and you retain the freedom to operate how you want to operate your business. So you get to focus on your clients and your own growth, and we handle the essentials that you need efficiently and transparently. So the Elite Circle Advantage. So let's break down the numbers. Um, it's $4.95 per transaction. There's no additional fees, and you always keep 100% of your commission. So when we were coming up with the structure of how we were going to offer this brokerage model to our elite agents, it made me think back to years ago when a owner of a local Remax brokerage was recruiting me. And she was recruiting me for about a year pretty heavily. And I finally said to her one day, I said, just show me the numbers. If you can write it down on paper and it makes sense, I'll do it. And she wasn't able to do that. And so, as I am thinking about how I will explain it to other agents, I want it to be as simple as possible. We have for items of value that we offer our elite agents, we have a private group support that's through WhatsApp. We have training for you on topics that matter. So we're not going to do training classes that show you how to fill out an as-is contract. As top performing agents, if someone is um, having some struggles with a specific topic, most likely other top agents are having those same struggles. So we're going to have training opportunities and high-level masterminds on those types of topics that matter most to you. We do offer group coaching. One of my favorite is annual business planning that is coming up on October 15th. We're doing that in conjunction with Apex Title. And if you're not able to make it in person, I am doing a live webinar on the following Wednesday, which I believe is October 22nd. Um, and then, as I mentioned, we also have high-level masterminds. As part of our elite circle, we also do have a referral program. And how that works is if you refer an agent to Kelly French Real Estate, you will receive the $4.95 transaction fee from the first 3 transactions from that agent. And there's no cap on that. So it's a quick, easy $1,500 thank you gift for you recruiting people into Kelly French Real Estate. Some of the other items of additional support that we offer that I'm super excited about is one of them is what we call our monthly virtual assistant packages. So, as a top performing agent, I know that you may not need help all the time. You may not be in a position where you want to have an assistant full time that's working year round, but there's times that you do need one and maybe times that you don't need one. Um, I have had virtual assistants since I think 2018. And so, what I pride ourselves on is that we're very good at hiring and training virtual assistants. So, we want to be able to help you in times that maybe your demand is a little bit higher. So we have a marketing and social media virtual assistant package that we can offer to you on demand. There's a couple different packages depending on what you're looking for. And coming soon, we have a pre-listing to listing virtual assistant package. You also have access to our preferred transaction coordinator. So, you may do transaction coordinator items and tasks on your own, or sometimes you use one when you're getting busy. We just have that resource there available for you if that's something that you would like to use. We have our trusted transaction coordinator. One of my favorites is also we have a dedicated office showing assistant. So those times when you are on vacation and a buyer wants to see a property, or you have an influx of clients and you can't be two places at once, we have a showing assistant that is specifically just for our agents to use in our office. We have a recommended split with them, but ultimately that's between you and the showing assistant. And then we know that some agents that are possibly leaving another brokerage and coming to us may need the opportunity for a CRM. Your brokerage may have one that you use, and if you're leaving, you're losing all of that information, or you don't have a CRM. We have the opportunity, again, on demand. It's available to you if you would like to use it with a low monthly cost of our CRM that is available to you. It's actually a CRM that I had built specifically for myself and my brokerage that is very friendly and very easy to use. So I will stop there for a minute. Ria, are there any questions in the chat that we can answer?
No questions so far.
Perfect. That means I'm answering all the questions. So let's go ahead and move on. Like I said, I'm always a show me the numbers person. So if somebody's trying to recruit me or talking to me about the benefits of joining their brokerage, I want to see what that looks like on paper. So I have three different scenarios I'm going to share with you today. One is an agent who closes 25 transactions per year, one that closes 17, and then one that closes at 10. And I'm using an average price point of $500,000 at 3% commission on each of these. So keep in mind on these, I know every office is a little bit different, and some offices do charge some fees that others don't. So just give me some grace if these numbers aren't exact. We can always sit down and go through them using your exact numbers. But on the first example, with an agent who closes 25 transactions, your gross commission is going to be $375,000. As I mentioned before, the only fee that you are charged at Kelly French Real Estate is a $495 transaction fee. So in this scenario, your transaction fees would total $12,375, giving you a net commission earned of $362,625. So you will see on these sheets that I used Keller Williams, Remax, EXP, and Compass as examples. Again, hopefully these numbers are as close as possible to real life examples. In this example, you will see that there is the opportunity of leaving $10,600 up to $25,000 on the table by potentially, being at a brokerage that you may have grown out of and may not need anymore. And I think it's important to mention, I saw something online a couple of weeks ago that showed that out of all of the agents that are currently licensed in Florida, that 71% of them have not sold a home in 2025, and 21% have sold one home, and 9% of all licensed agents in Florida have sold two homes or more this year. So I think now more than ever, your commission splits could potentially be one of your highest expense items, and it's definitely worth a look. I would also like to note on this slide, I do have at the bottom rebates from clients. Now, I didn't invent this. It's been happening for years, But what a lot of our agents do in our office is that 495 transaction fee, they charge that to the buyer or the seller in each of their transactions. Or sometimes I have one agent that charges 295 and they pay $200 for each transaction. So I think that's important to point out that it truly could be zero fees, zero commission splits, if you did charge your clients that 495 fee. Now, the next slide is the agent who closes 17 transactions at a $500,000 price point at a 3% commission. In this example, the transaction fees for Kelly French Real Estate would be $8,415, which could potentially have a lost profit of $12,429 up to $20,000. And then finally, the agent who closes 10 transactions, which I think, this year could potentially be quite a few agents based on the statistics that we saw in Florida. Um, Gross commission would be 150,000. Transaction fees would be 495 times 10, giving you $4,950 with a potential lost profit of $10,000 to $19,000. So I hope that was simple, that it was easily understandable, and that it was transparent. Ria, if you could go ahead and put my email address and my Calendly link into the chat for us. All of this will also be on the replay that will go out tomorrow. But if you would like to learn more, if you'd like to find out about next steps, we know that the Elite Circle is not for every agent. But if you would like a confidential phone call or for us to meet and discuss it, you can either email me, phone or text me, or go ahead and schedule an appointment on my Calendly link. So I thank you so much for joining us today. I hope I kept it short and sweet for you, and please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.